So let's pause now and just look at some definitions. Now, these definitions are not perfect. They're my best. I'd be glad for you to rework these or redefine these. But I see that there are two kind of most networks now are either place-based networks. They're in a place like Western North Carolina that's trying to deal with disaster and now recovery. Um, or they're focal point networks. They're focused on a particular, fairly narrow issue or strategy, like we're a network supporting immigrants, or we're a network interested in community gardens. And then there are all these kinds of networks of networks. Now, network of network is just a general term for all the kinds of networks where most of the participants, probably not all of them, are mainly networks rather than organizations. And so there's multiscalar network. I just love that word. It's networks that usually have more than one sort of level from local to state, regional, national, international. They have two or more of those levels involved in their network that usually will have a focus on a particular system or subsystem. Then there's the system shifting networks, which is a term that I just love and would love to see some of these happen. I'm not really sure there are any whole system networks out there. Like, is there a network that's trying to really connect all the climate change networks around the world? If you know of any that are doing things like that, or changing food system, transforming food systems, and working with networks all over the world. So that's a big basket. But I'm hoping that more of that will happen because it's amazing how many, say, groups, environmental groups, are not even barely talking to each other right now, or one's working on education, or any of these sectors that we talked about. There's not nearly as much networking among them as I think is really important for us to see. Then there's subsystem networks, which are just a part of a larger system. Like, so in healthcare, you might have a subsystem network focused on national rural healthcare, and so forth. And then there are cross-sector or cross-system networks that include networks from different systems, like Catalyst 2030, or now it's called Catalyst, that's working on the Sustainable Development Goals, would be an example of that. But there's also lots and lots of learning networks or communities of practice that are really cross-sector, and they're bringing together people from different networks. And then there's the really important field building, capacity building, or support networks that are trying to serve, a lot of networks out there. Places like FITO Network, and if you aren't familiar with them, check out that link there and check them out, because they're really providing support and bring together, convening lots of different networks. So next slide. So that's now, if you have some other kinds of networks that you've seen, let me know.